Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Thank you for joining the live chat, viewers. Two main topics in today's live chat. Let me welcome the participants. Can you hear me, viewers? Please confirm. Loud and clear, says Simon Tesfaye. Thank you, Simon, for responding. Simon Tesfaye is the first viewer who commented in today's live chat. Thank you, Simon. How are you? We have Hivot MT says hello. How are you, Hivot? Mikhail joined to says hello, brother. How are you, brother Mikhail? TE says hello, Sajid. Right on time. You are on time. I am a little late. I was working on one of the two stories which I want to talk about in this live chat. That is why I got a little late. Burial says, let's hear Fano's 100th announcement. Well, it's not an official announcement, but it seems they're working on something big. Two main topics in this live chat, viewers. Firstly, what are two main Fano commanders working on? Are they working on a new military strategy or working on something else? Secondly, Getachew Reda today released a statement. Statement was released in connection with Epiphany. It was a congratulatory statement, but even uh, this statement contains political content. It's basically a political message. So, on this day of religious celebration, to Getachew shared a political message. What did he say? Average Dom says, hello, hello Sajid Jelmaro, with all his faults, is way better than Joar when it comes to Oromo issues. Joar flip flops. Well, I don't know. Both have different ways of working. Uh, I think both jointly could be lethal for the government. Miari, Vander, right, joint welcome, Miari. Simon says, Fano resemble the history of ELF, pre-EPLF, Unified Political Agenda. For life says, Sajid, I heard Birhan Ojura is sick. I don't know. I don't know if he's seriously sick or not. African Star says, hello, Sajid. When do you think that Ethiopia can be divided into pieces after those deadly civil wars? Well, African Stars, I have done, I think, two or three videos on the possibility of disintegration of Ethiopia. During Tigray War 2, I did a video, if you remember, if you're a regular viewer. I think last year I did a video as well. I don't see Ethiopia disintegrate. I don't know about future, but it's not going to happen in near future, at least, based on ground realities. Why? Because no one is ready for new countries in this part of the world. Because if Ethiopia fragments, if it disintegrates, it could have a dominoes effect on the other countries too. So I don't think that international community, foreign players, African players are going to back such disintegration. And Zimbabwe's government went through some really challenging times. I think he has cleared several obstacles. Now he's in tight control of the government, of the country. Disintegration is a dream, I believe, of some people. Ayaleo joined to welcome Ayaleo. Mihari says, can you answer the weaknesses and strengths of EPRDF versus PP? I think you asked this question in a past live chat too. I promised to do a video. I could not, but I'll try to do a video on that. It would be unfair to just respond to this question with a few words. I think it should be properly analyzed. Let's start with yours. Two new stories. Firstly, Fano. What are two main Fano commanders discussing? What are they planning? Colonel Abira is the newest entry in Fano. He's a colonel of the Ethiopian National Defense Force. And the colonel, in an interview yesterday, claimed that two major Fano commanders are working on something with which people of the Amhara region, Fano supporters, will be happy. Which two Fano commanders? Tafra Mamu and Colonel Fantahun are jointly working on this thing. He did not share details. What I have learned is that he only hinted at uh, the possibility of some big decision by the two Fano commanders. I have got some information uh, about what the two commanders are working on. Then they're not working on devising some new strategy. Uh, Reportedly, Colonel Fantahun is based in Wollo and Janel is based in Shoa. But it shows that these foreign commanders work in collaboration. I mean, despite military operations, despite drone strikes, despite Ethiopian intelligence agencies' activities in the region, Fano commanders are in contact with each other. They're in a position to hold discussions, to make decisions. And when Skandar was elected, Fano commanders voted. I think a virtual meeting was held. Isn't it an indication of the failure of the government? I mean, in the entire Amhara region, military is deployed, drones for operating in the air, intelligence agency elements operating on the ground, prosperity party there in Amhara, and still government could not cut off the contacts, the engagements, the links among Fano commanders. What are the two Fano commanders working on? Well, what I have learned is that they're working on the creation of the establishment of some central command structures. They have been working on that for some time, but Fano groups have been facing internal divisions. Uh, Janal Taframamu is acceptable to all. He is the most seasoned man in terms of combat experience. He is acceptable to everyone. And he's the one who is leading the efforts to organize Fano. And he can do that. He led Amhara Special Force. He has vast experience of leading armed organizations. So he and Colonel Fantahun is also very experienced. In a very short period of time, Colonel Fantahun organized Wollo Fano. Colonel is a relatively new face in Fano. Mere Joe has been operating for years, but We only heard about the colonel in 2023, and very swiftly he organized his Fano group, and the Fano group turned into a major threat to the security forces in Wallo. So both have vast experience of organizing Fano. What I have learned is that their work is about organizing Fano. Fano groups have been trying to establish one regional command center, but they could not establish zonal command centers. On zonal level, there are issues. Fano groups are not under one command. On zonal level, too, that is why it is a challenge to unite all Fano groups under one command. But maybe Taframamu and Colonel Fantahun are going to announce a breakthrough in coming days. This is what Colonel uh, announced, as a now announced. He did not say what the two commanders are working on. What I have learned through some sources is that the two commanders are working on organizational activities. Jafar Jamal joined to welcome Jafar. Abraham Okbe says, why you speak more about Ethiopia? You don't know anything about Eritrea. We don't care about 120, 130 million. You speak always against Eritrea. I never speak against Eritrea. I speak against what is happening in Eritrea. Problem is that when we talk about human rights situation in Eritrea and we criticize the government, government supporters say that you are criticizing Eritrea, Eritrean people. No, I speak for Eritrean people who are suffering. I never speak against them. I speak against the government, which is responsible for the migration which is happening from Eritrea. I speak against the government, which is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of people who die on their way to Europe, on their way to other countries. Who is responsible? This is what I criticize. I criticize the government, which has not held a single election. I criticize the government, which never allowed judiciary, independent media to flourish. Is this criticism of Eritrea? No. But government backed people and some blinded by their support for the government, they accuse me of speaking or working against Eritrea, which is incorrect. Gilu Dugasa says the main problem among Fano leaders is that the relatively powerful leaders are naive in politics as they are not educated. They are not dynamic in their stance. Well, Mere Vodajo and Zamine Kasi. Zamine Kasi, I think, very smartly handled the challenge from Skandar. Skandar was a politician. He joined Fano. Zamine Kasi was not a politician. Still, he kicked Skandar out of Gujjam. These people have been part of politics, I think. They have been working with the government. They worked with the government for years. These people fought alongside Ethiopian National Defense Force, PP, against Tigray fighters. They know how government operates, how politics operates in Ethiopia. They're not very naive. They just don't want to share power. They want to enjoy power. This is the problem. Abdul Aziz says, Hi Sajid, Fano can't be united as they have different organizing principles. Let's see. He says, Keep up the good work of speaking for the needy and oppressed. Thank you. And by the way, I criticize Ethiopia more than Eritrea. I mean, governments. I criticize a lot. I have been in today's video. I said I've been saying that for weeks that Abe is going to steal next election. Opposition should be ready. It should start today. So, is it talking against Ethiopia? No. Problem is that when I say anything about Eritrean president, Eritrean government, Eritrean PFDJ, people start accusing me of working against Eritrea. And these are the people who are government activists. Eritrean government has its paid activists in social media. It monitors social media a lot and it launches its people. And sometimes people in their love for the government, they don't want to just listen to anyone criticize the government. Secondly, viewers, Getachew Reda, Tigray interim president today, posted a political message on Epiphany. Message is about Epiphany, but instead of uh, restricting the message to Epiphany congratulation, he addressed political issues in the message. Getachew firstly announced the establishment of Tigray Advisory Council, brainchild of Sadkan. Sadkan proposed the idea of the establishment of Tigray Advisory Council, which will have participation of political parties, security forces, civil society, media, etc. This advisory council basically wants to work as an alternative regional assembly. Tigray has no regional assembly. Why? Because election held in 2020 was declared null and void by the federal government of Ethiopia. TPLF Debrecen has been opposing the idea of establishment of advisory council. But Getachew announced that soon advisory council will start its work, and he asked opposition, he asked political parties, security forces, everyone to join the advisory council. Getachew definitely wants to prolong his stay in power. He should make preparations for holding next election in a transparent manner. But he and Sadkan know that if election is held today, TPLF will win. They have come up with this idea of establishment of advisory council. They want to delay the election. It seems. It seems. Secondly, Getachew Reda in today's message said that the other group, means TPLF, the Bratzian, wants to malign security forces and they want security forces to support them. Uh, and he said that DDR will continue. TPLF has been opposing DDR, saying that DDR should only be conducted after there are no threats to Tigray, after the restoration of Tigray's territories. So, this is what he said in today's message, which was about Epiphany. Issues there, no progress so far in terms of resolution of the issues. Advisory Council will be rejected by TPLF Debrecen group. And if TPLF does not join the Advisory Council, what will be the significance of this council? Yes, Sam says, you talked about achievement of Fano. Greatest achievement is convincing the population to get armed to the teeth to survive. Well, I talked about the achievement in future scenario. If you watched my video closely, you would see I talked about future scenario, which could unfold. No one knows about it. What Fano is doing today could be of significance for Amhara people in future. Average Dom says such the election are not needed in Ethiopia for now. Maybe 10 years from now, the country is at war and we are happy with our current leadership. Well, the current leadership will hold election no matter what you want or not. You want it or not. Because country was at war, at real war in 2021. Still, the man held election. Why do these leaders hold elections, by the way? To gain legitimacy. It's not that they care about you people, they care about your votes, they care about your opinion. No, they hold elections to gain legitimacy. They want to be seen as democratically elected leaders, especially people like Abiy. Because if you are elected, definitely your status in international community uh, is uh, at par with others, you can say. So they hold elections because they want to be legitimate in the eyes of the international community. That is why sham elections are held in such countries. Election will be held, you'll see that. Controlled election. But if Abiy sees that he won't be able to control the election, then it could be postponed. And by the way, don't say that we are happy with this government, no election should be held. It means you are backing dictatorship in your country. Already, the types of elections being held in Ethiopia are very non transparent and very flawed procedure is adopted. But if you people start saying that we don't need election, that means you are backing dictatorship in your country. And why do you want to lose your right to elect leaders? It's your right to elect a prime minister, to change a prime minister, to remove a prime minister, to elect a member of parliament. Yes, system should be improved. System is not ideal. But why do you want to lose your right to elect your leaders? It does not make sense. Because 25 minutes have passed, I think we should end the live chat. Today, I got a little late in joining. As I said, I was working on one of the two news stories. I'll be back tomorrow. Sunday will be last live chat of the week. I think we people should focus on now, focus on political developments now. Nebbe is holding some key discussions. I did a video about that an hour ago. Do watch that video. Uh, Elections determine the fates of nations sometimes. That is why we'll continue the coverage of the developments related to the next election in Ethiopia. Thank you for watching, viewers. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye.